Hello, Argenziano staff. My name is Lindsay Toscas, and I am the STEAM and Innovation Learning Specialist based out at the Kennedy School here in Somerville. I can't be there with you today, but I just wanted to take a minute to share with you some of the projects that our students at the Kennedy have been doing. I've met with a few of your teachers so far this year and have shared some ideas, but I wanted to help to make it a little bit more clear how we can work to embed the maker mindset directly into our curriculum to really enhance student learning, to give students an opportunity to show what they know in a different way that's maybe a little bit non-traditional, but really does target the things that they need to know and what they need to be doing. I am at the Argenziano School 2 days a week, usually Monday and Tuesday mornings, about 7:45 until 8:30, and I'm sorry, 8:50. And I am there to meet with you, to plan with you, to share resources, share ideas. I know most of you have your homerooms at that time, but I am there as a resource for you, and hopefully what I'm about to show you will shed a little bit more light on the things that we could plan and do together. So how can we make curriculum connections to provide really engaging learning experiences for all of our students? Here's one quick example of some sixth graders at work. But I'll start off with some of our youngest students. So our first graders have been spending some time really working on collaboration skills. So what you're seeing is after a month of them really learning how to communicate effectively with each other, collaborate, and this was one of our bigger projects from last week, using Bbot robots to code and connect with sight words, and also using Bbots to do some early addition on a number line. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Bbots and sight words. So sometimes they need a little bit of help to actually get there, but the kids really did a fun job. And here is an example of the math. So you can see that they are working collaboratively. There was a teacher at that station just helping to facilitate, a student teacher actually, but the kids were all really engaged. We had about 4 different stations going on this day. One of the other stations actually incorporated a Makey, which is a little microcomputer that you can combine with Scratch to do sort of a computer takeover. And what they are doing here, you can see they have a word wall. So when they hold down here and press the word, it is coded in the Scratch program to actually say the word and show a picture of the word to help the students understand it. So they were working with sight words and building off of word families. And the idea was to have them reading this book independently as they went along. And this has many different applications, I think even for our kindergarten students, just doing a letter wall with beginning sounds is just another connection that we could make. Our second graders have also been working to build their collaboration skills. So you have just like an anchor chart, things that we talk about at the beginning of the year. They had to write out some instructions to get their partner to build a maze, really sort of low risk tasks for them to do early on, because we knew we wanted to get them to really hone in on the curriculum with their collaboration skills. So we read the book Papa's Mechanical Fish, and it is a story about a man who is a tinkerer, inventor, never seems to get things quite right, but never gives up. So we read the story together, identified the characters, character traits, the problems in the story, and then making predictions, which they then got to build a mechanical bird because that would have been the next invention by the main character in the story. So then we tied in science and planning, designing properties and materials, which you can see their plan over here on the left and one of their actual birds. We had some volunteers from Artisans Asylum make these big wind tunnels, so the kids actually got to test out whether or not their bird would fly. And then they had to document their work using Book Creator, which is a very easy app on your iPads at the Argenziano, and it's also a Chrome extension. Second graders got very little instruction on how to do this. They just had a template that they had to follow with their name and the project, and they themselves had to take pictures of their planning sheet, their bird, and then they had a properties of materials checklist for all the items that they used. So they were able to do that, and then we printed them out. They'll have a showcase in a couple of weeks to show off their work there. Sixth grade, they did a candy wave simulation. So they were given wooden skewers, gumdrops, and duct tape and had to figure out how to make a wave and how to simulate the wave. So you can see that in action here. I'm also the sixth grade science teacher. So one of the things I'm most excited about is this next project, which is a collaborative project that I'm doing with our new ELA sixth grade teacher with the book City of Ember. So we are working on writing a poem in ELA in 3 stanzas about the city of Ember, and then they have to connect it with properties of light. So each stanza has to reflect either that light can be absorbed, reflected, or transmitted. And then each stanza of the poem has a different connection with a certain part in the story to show or to explain their understanding of both the story and the concept for science class. Then they will work next week on animating the poem using stop motion animation. And last but not least, I've also been working with our SEEK program as a way to help them do more hands-on learning experiences. So after meeting with the 4th grade SEEK teacher, she and I decided that they wanted to work on transition words in their writing. So they created seasonal stop motion videos, so showing the change of seasons, and then they would use the videos to actually practice their writing skills. So I will play this for you, and they're pretty short, and I had pre-cut all of the materials for them to make it a little bit more easily accessible and to make sure that they could all have a successful experience. So here goes that. And this friend did not think he was any good at stop motion, but he was able to come back and really did a phenomenal job with that. And then they were able to apply their writing skills back in their classroom. One more resource that I wanted to share with you, if you haven't already followed it, this is a plug for our Kennedy Makerspace Instagram. And Alt Shift F. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but this is my first time also using Screencastify, which is a new Chrome extension, which I recommend, but I clearly need some more practice with it. Anyway, the Kennedy Makerspace Instagram is a great resource for you to kind of see what the projects that we've been up to are, see some applications of their work. This is actually last year's 6th graders. These are 2 lungs. One person was a smoker and one was not. That was for their body systems work last year. So it's a great resource. I am available through email all the time and can also meet up with you when I am at Argenziano. We are going to be hosting kind of a meet and greet on Monday, December 3rd, starting at 7:30 in your teacher's room, I believe. I'll have some coffee and some snacks, and we'll be there to answer any of your questions from 7:30 until about 8:50. So again, my name is Lindsay Toskis, and you can reach me via email. It's LTOSCHES. And to check out the Kennedy Makerspace on Instagram, it's just at Kennedy Makerspace. and I hope to work with some of you soon. And if you have any